Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Tina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as you can see, I am sort of wearing my Oasis cardigan here. It's missing a sleeve, but this sleeve, I think I would say it's finally complete because adding more length I could, but then I'm questioning if it might get too much in the way of the hand. I like the sleeves to be just the right length. Yeah, you shouldn't get caught in them. I don't like them when they're a little bit too short. So I think this is actually good length because I can stretch it a little and then it goes a bit longer. But then when I do movements, it crawls a bit back, but it still sits just around that wrist point. So I ended up making 4 rows of fans here. I was debating on 3 or 5, but honestly adding a 5th row, I think that would make it too long, or I would have to frock it and remove the last regular row I made, which I would be really sad to do because, you know, that's still work that I have to redo. So I think I'd rather just keep it like this. And honestly, it's not so bad with the 4 rows. I think it's fine just as is. I'm pretty happy. So what I'm going to do is basically cut the yarn and weave in the end and start on the other sleeve. And I have exactly written down what I did here, when I decreased, etc. So that should be pretty straightforward and to do. One of the reasons that this sleeve really took this long was the fact that I kept fitting, and sometimes I had to unravel or frock it, and then I had to redo some parts and so on to get this what I consider really good, a nice fit for my arm. Sometimes I'm like, this could be a little bit slimmer, but at the same time I'm pretty okay with it because it's not like too trumpety and it's not too tight either, which is not a bad thing. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with this, and sitting with it here right now, I'm happy I did add sleeves, at least for a day like this, because it is just on the edge where I think it's a little bit too chilly to not have extra sleeves on, yet it's this nice airy feel. So yeah, that's perfect. And I realized we did not even talk about my favorite mug of tea yet, because of course we can't talk yarn without having tea. And today's tea is the tea blend. It's a loose tea called Nijmegen Trots. Nijmegen Trots is a black tea, a black flavored loose tea blend, which contains a flavor of, let's see if I can read it here, roses, raisins, pineapple, and cornflower petals. And I just have a little box here where it's in, and this crate was used for something else. I just ended up turning it into a tea. So you won't see much in here, but there are tea in there. And that is the tea that I am drinking today, and I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. Yeah, it's all. And I really enjoy my mug as well. It's a thermos mug. I got it as a birthday present a couple of years ago. And it helps me not throw out tea because I get too busy at work to actually drink it all. It keeps it warm for longer, so that's awesome. It's really, I'm really happy for it. But let's get back to the yarns. This is what I've left, plus a full skein, and then I'm kind of out. So if I still wanted to make this extra front panel piece, then I will need to buy more yarn. I think I'm going to make that decision once I finish the second sleeve. Then I can have a look at it and model it a bit and maybe even wear it a couple of times to decide if I want to add on more on the front chest piece, or if I'm good with just going as is. I should probably get some sort of a shawl pin to keep it together, because it is possible to put it together, but it's kind of missing a pin to keep it together. And if I have to decide, if I end up deciding increasing that, I will have to go buy some yarn. But we all love a good excuse to buy yarn, don't we? So that's pretty much I would say it's for this Oasis cardigan sweater. It's a sweater from Drops Design. I am making it, as mentioned, in this lovely yarn, which is the Drops Baby Merino unicolor. It is a baby gray, I do believe, or light gray. I don't remember the color name or color number straight out of my head, or the dye lot or whatever. But it is a 50 gram. They are 50 gram donuts balls to 170 meters of yarn. So it's classifying them as a fine weight yarn or a fingering weight yarn. And it is wonderful work with 100% superwash merino wool. And it is very soft. Like, I could wear this with a t-shirt underneath, and I'm pretty sensitive as to wool touching my skin if it's not a soft wool. I won't take any wool because that can go itchy, but this is nice. This is really nice. So I'm really happy with how this is working up right now. And I'm looking forward to show you guys the Oasis cardigan with a full second sleeve on. I'm unsure if I will reach that for next week though, because I have many things going on these days. And I'm also quite impressed with how much I reached to do this past week, given how many other things I had on my agenda. But what I am gonna do is I am going to take this off because I do believe I'm attached to the yarn still, so it's easier to take it off and then continue the conversation with you guys. So, and you can still hear all my stitch markings sitting everywhere in the project piece. 3.5mm crochet hook is what I've been crocheting this with, so it has been taking quite a while to make, even though it has so many every holes. But yeah, let's see, what have we of other projects that we should get to talk about? The next project we should talk about is the Fleur. Fleur is the Mosiac blanket that I am making. It's designed by Anke Wintermans. She's a Dutch designer. She has her patterns. You can buy them at either Yarn Plaza. I think the name is called yarnplaza.com, or you can get them from Ravelry. I link to the one on Ravelry because that makes most sense for me to do, because that's where I actually bought my pattern. I have everything written down. It is 4mm crochet hooks. I am using Stylecraft Special DK yarns for it. Yep, and they are basically a premium acrylic yarn. Approximately you get 295 meters or 322 yards for 100 grams, which is 3.5 ounces. Classified DK weight, and it's naturally anti-pilling yarns. You can tongue dry it at cold. You can iron it also with cold. You can dry clean it, and you can wash it in the washing machine at 30 degrees Celsius. So that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. I reached to make one more round since last, only one, but one is better than none, which gets us to round 30 out of 129. So I only have 99 rounds left. Hi, we're almost at a quarter if you count the rows, but in reality we are not even close, because every round adds 2 more stitches to each side. There are 4, so that's 4 multiplied by 2, that's 8. Each round adds 8 stitches, so you know, I'll have another 700 or some odd stitches on a side. Quickly calculate, well, in total, whatever, it's crazy before I'm done. But that's okay. This is where we are at. I am just going to pull the yarn a little bit, but not too much. This is my starting end. I will hold it on the downside, but this is where we are at. The last quill I've worked with is a white, because you can see of this on the white edging here. But as you can see, we got this one closed in. This one is closed in now. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It feels really nice. I'm quite happy with how it works up. It's also pretty clean on the back side. Of course, you can see where I carry the yarn up, which is okay, that's a natural process. But generally, I think it's also pretty clean on the back side. Of course, they are a little bit wonky, but that's where you have the, depending on if you do work in the front loop, back loop of either the previous or the second previous row. I am going to work in the burgundy for the next row, and at row 47 we are changing to a more red color. So the white, cream white, will go through this blanket all the way to the end, and the background color here will be changing, so the white would be considered the foreground color in this project. Yeah, I've been debating on getting yarn holders for these. They are still in my thought process of buying as maybe presents for myself or something. Keeping track of my rows, doing row for row. What is eventually I will reach a stage where I won't be able to finish a whole side or a whole round or X rounds before yarn talks. We'll take it as it comes, and it's, you know, I'm not stressing about it. It's just, you know, I'll just work on this day for day, and it's fine. I'm kind of pleased with how it's progressing. You know, it's a bit challenging, but at the same time, it's very simple once you get the concept. What is for me is I really need to catch where the center is and where do I need to do the stitches, so I actually get at the beginning, because sometimes I cannot see where the stitch for the first stitch of the row starts. But once I kind of understand where they go, it goes pretty smooth. But I really need to keep, what I would say in Danish, the tongue straight in my mouth, like, you know, to make sure I don't have to frog it, because I don't even want to consider frogging that if I can get around not having to. So far I haven't. I've done so great so far. I have not frogged the Fleur Mosiac blanket. It is still tiny, but I'm looking for it to be finished. It's supposed to get about, like, I do believe it's like 140, 150 by 140, 150 or something like that. That would be in meters. No idea what that would be in. Sounds odd in yards, but feet maybe. I don't know what that would be in feet. But yeah, there are plans. Then, and we also always do this in chronological order. Once I'm done with this Oasis cardigan, it's almost taken me a year. I'd rather not think about it. But one of the reasons has been it's been put on hold, and I've done something and it's been on hold. Then I've also not been home, and then it's been kind of on hold for a week, etc. But I'm getting pretty happy with where we are now. And once it's done, the Oasis cardigan, I really need to consider what project we're going to start on next, because I want to start on a new drops project. Sorry, I want to start on a new drops project because I do have a bunch of drop yarns laying. And you would know that if you have seen Sort My Stash of the first edition, 2024, of my drop yarns. And let's see, I will try to link it here up and at the end of this video. But we will have to choose a project of these to start making. And I think I'm going to go for either poncho, shawl, or hat. Because, yeah, I'm in the mood for doing that. And I still have another garment piece that I'm working on, which is the next project that we're going to talk about. Because in December, no, not December, around New Year's, I don't remember if it was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but we just say New Year's, as of this year, I started on the Fleur blanket, which is like kind of scared. It should have done way more process, but that's also sometimes been dormant for a week or two without me working on it. Looking at the projects that I'm doing, and the chronological timeline was that the next project we decided on working on, that I'm still working on, that is the Firefly sweater. And the Firefly sweater is a free pattern on Hobby that is worked with, normally I do believe it's Diablo yarns held together. I did not buy the Diablo yarns. I got, I would say, a bit cheaper version of the yarn. And it's 100% synthetical, so there is no animal fibers in this yarn. They are acrylic and polyester. And and it's this Soft Sensation yarns from Lammy Yarns, which is a Dutch brand. This one is a colorway 62, and I have a colorway 12 as well, which is this blue. They are hand wash yarns, can be dry cleaned. Do not iron, do not tumble dry, do not bleach. 25 grams are these balls, so they're really light. 25 grams is like 0.8-ish, 0.9-ish, somewhere in between ounces. 200 meters, so that's 220-ish yards. 96% acrylic, 24% polyester. That's the yarns I'm using, and I'm laying them double. And laying them double gives this absolutely gorgeous color. Look, you can here see easily the color variation of these yarns. Right? It's just double crochets. And I've been following the pattern, and yet now I'm actually at a stage where I realize I'm freestyling it more than I'm following it, because I did add extra lengths to them. I will probably need to block them a bit, I think. Because right now I'm in doubt if it's gonna be tighter than what I had originally intended, because it's tended to be oversized, but right now it doesn't feel too oversized when I am holding it over my chest. But also I did not block this piece as I did with the test, so maybe blocking it might actually get us where we should be. So that's the front panel that I finished. And now what is that I have now done 2 morning lives this week, one this week, which was yesterday, and one last week, Wednesday. And I'm trying to do them on Wednesday unless other plans come in the way. And on those, I decided this is a perfect project to crochet on, because it's just double crochets. This is where we are with the back piece. And this would be the center. So this I would need to like copy. So this is kind of where we are at. So calculating quickly, I need to do 1 or 2 more rows, and then I start to increase again. And then I have another 15 rows just straight back, forward. Double crochets. And once that's done, I need to make 2 sleeves and sew it all together. So that's where we are here. And yeah, that is not going to be finished anytime soon, but I'm kind of fine with that. You know, it works up nicely that I have this. For these morning lives, I just have like, it's just a short one. It's like 30 to 40 minutes, maybe 45, of me saying good morning, having a cup of tea with you guys, crocheting a coil of rows. Then I'm heading to work. Some of you are heading to bed, or you're late night up and staying and keeping me company, or you're just having your morning breakfast and hanging out with me, and that's really nice that you do. So yes, that's been progressing as well, and you know, I'll just, you know, keep going on. Holding the yarns double, and I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook with it. So I will put that away here next to me. Then I have 2 more projects, and I also failed because I bought yarn. I bought just a little bit of yarn, so we're going to talk about that later as well today. But let's first go through the projects, and then we can talk about the yarn. The next project that I started on chronologically is the DarjeelingTea Shawl. I really enjoy RedTeapotAtelier's patterns, as long as they don't have too many puff stitches. And I just did a row of puff stitches. No, not only puff stitches, luckily, but still, it's more than enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm happy it doesn't have too many. The DarjeelingTea Shawl, I thought first initially it had no puff stitches, and then I was working on it and I was like realizing it when I was in already, like, oh, we have puff stitches. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna unravel, I'm just gonna stick doing this pattern because that's what I said I did. The end. I calculated that I should be at row 50. It could be 49, it could be 51. It's not too important. I know where I am on the pattern. I do believe it's 50. And feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. And I'm working with this absolutely gorgeous yarn from LindeHobby. And it is the colorway 4, and it's the LindeHobby Soft Cake. And we have specs here. So let me show you what's left of the cake. This gorgeous one. It matches my shirt right now. It's 50% cotton, 50% acrylic. They recommend 2 to 3 millimeter crochet hook or knitting needles. 250 gram cakes normally, so 8.8 ounces. There's definitely not that left here. There's maybe 100 grams left. And 1,000 meters to 1,093 yards. Can be ironed at low, can lay flat to dry, can be washed at 30 degrees, so 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not tumble dry, do not bleach, do not dry clean. Okay, so it is, and it is soft. It says soft cake, and it is soft, like it's really soft. It starts with the outer edge, which I've been working it from the outer edge. It's been more like dark red, burgundy, but here we are. This is the progress we have been making. Ta-da! Right now it's not as nice and clear at the edge because we are in a place where it's fanning out a bit, so it needs to be caught up again. So where we are at stitch wise is like what we have here in this section, and I think this section, and it's coming down here as well. So but this shawl is going to be so much nicer once it's blocked. My experience so far with RedTeapotAtelier shawls is it just looks better when it's blocked. But yeah, so here we are, and I've been using a D hook, so a 3.25 millimeter hook for those interested. I'm also a little bit tight crochet hooker, but there we are. I really enjoy this. I don't think it displays as well on camera as it does when it's just laid flat on table. But I'm looking forward to finishing it and to get it blocked. It will take a bit still because I still have a bit to go. But what I can say is, looking at this, it's not that far left where we have this dark piece. I will change over to get lighters again. So that's where we are. So yeah, row 50. Of, I don't even remember how many rows, but I'll just keep going until I have no yarn left or that the pattern has ended or whatever. It's enjoyable. I enjoy creating this shawl, and I like how straightforward it is. Yeah, the pattern is pretty simple to follow. I think she's making really good patterns descriptive wise. It looks intimidating, but it is not as intimidating as you may think. The pattern you can buy at Ravelry, but you can also get it at Hobby. I got mine from Hobby. I do have Hobby Plus, and it is also a Hobby Plus pattern, so it is one of your 3 free monthly downloads should you want to get a really nice pattern. I can personally warmly recommend it. But yeah. So hobby.com. I linked to it, description box down below, should you want to obtain it. And I linked it to it from Hobby because that makes most sense for me to do that. The last and most recent project I started on is a new Virus Shawl. And I started on this Virus Shawl because I finished my inline alpaca poncho a couple of weeks ago, and I needed a new project that I could use for when I was watching TV. Or when I was on the go, which wasn't too big. And that ended up being like, well, the Virus Shawl is perfect in the sense of it's a shawl. I like shawls, but it's a simple, easy 4-row repeat. Like once you get a few rows going and you're ready to do all the repeats, it's just repeating, and I don't need to look at a pattern or anything like that. I'll just crank them out. And I even have a tutorial for the for the Virus Shawl, and it is so far, I do believe, one of my most popular tutorials. And I've linked to a description box here down below for those that would want to see if they want to make it, or if they haven't done one yet. It's really enjoyable. You can make it out of most yarns actually, but do know the thicker the yarn you choose, the larger the piece you will end up, or the fewer repeats you will need to get the size you want. So if you want it thin and lacy, you have to use a thinner yarn. I am using the Stenli Candy Cake for this. Stenli Candy Cake is 280 grams. 280 grams is like 9 point some odd ounces. And it is 900 meters, which is 980 some odd yards. So it's almost 1,000 yards. It's a bit less. And I'm using this magenta to peach colored cake. And we have almost gone through most of the magenta. Right now we are in this, I would say bright pink magenta pinkish. But as you can see, we're very close to starting to change over to this peachy colors before we have this like light peach in here. And the camera right now shows us slightly bit brighter than it is. I would say it's a little bit more diluted neonish peach. Maybe like this seems a bit better. This is more like natural light. I have a window at this side. Yeah. So it changed colors since last time, because last time I was still in this stripy color between the more darker magenta and this lighter one. And now we are pretty close to it needing to start change color again. So I think before next yarn talk, we are into these peachy oranges. But this, my friends, is where we are at right now. This is also a shawl that I know is so much better once it's blocked. It will be a bit larger than my prior Virus shawls because there are more meters on this cake, but also I'm using an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters, which means that it's 2.25 millimeters larger than the previous I made hook-wise, but the cake is also like 110-ish yards longer, so it's 100 meters longer. So it will be slightly ever so larger, but that's okay. And it's definitely also a project that will need blocked once we are there, and then we'll take it as it comes. What I do find is that this Stenli Candy Cake has a slight tendency of splitting. So you do need to be a little bit focused when you are making your stitches to ensure that you're not get caught in a split, so that you have like partially split yarn. It's not bad, it's just you need to be a little bit attentive that it doesn't split. So it's not tightly wound, but it is wound. It is one strand wound together, but it is a quite loose wind. It's not tightly wound, and it is pretty soft, I would say. Yeah, it's soft. I like it. So far it's been able to stand, but at the same time I'd kind of maybe want a yarn holder for it. That could be better, I think. But there's so many things I want. A couple of yarn holders maybe. It looks like they work really smooth. It's like, you know, those kind of spindles. They are in a round shape and then they have thin spindle on top. And that seems to sit loose on something else that makes them spin really easy. I can imagine that would be really great for these cakes. But actually I can also imagine it would be good for my, what is it named again? For my Fleur, because I have 2 yarn balls I need to keep track of. And yeah, I just need to make sure that they don't get intertwined, and then maybe it's easier if I get a yarn holder for that. I'm still looking. I'm probably gonna make an investment into that because I think it could be a really great idea. The last thing we're gonna talk about today is the fact that I failed. Well, failed. I bought yarn. I bought 4 balls of yarn. Last weekend I was out shopping. I had to go get birthday presents for my partner, and I had to pick up something from the Zeeman store because I was looking for something for myself. And they also have a yarn department, and when I'm in there and there's a yarn department, why wouldn't I just take a quick sneak peek if there's anything interesting in there? There was a few things I really wanted to get, but I did keep myself straight, and I only filled with one yarn. But I did get 4 balls of it, and I'll explain you why. So the yarn I ended up getting is this party yarn. Look at this. It's golden and it has shiny golden. Woohoo. Isn't this gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. $3.29 per skein. So that's like 12, 13 euros, 20, 18, 16, 20, yeah, whatever. A bit more than 13 euros for 4 skeins of yarn. Not too bad. It's 100 gram balls to 250 meters. So 100 grams again are 3.5 ounces to about 270 to 80 yards. They recommend crochet hook 3 to 4 millimeters. You need 6 balls of these to make a medium-sized sweater. I think it would be pretty heavy though. Can be washed at 30 degrees, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not iron, do not tumble dry, do not bleach, can be dry cleaned. It is 91% acrylic and 9% polyester. Polyester is the shine. It's made by Zeeman in Turkey. So in Turkey the yarn is produced. It's of course Oecotex branded 100, which means test against any sorts of harmful substance. Colorway 92, and it's the one they named Party. And I got 4 of them. Ta-ta, 4. And they're all shiny, sparkly. So why did I get this yarn? I got the yarn because I thought they could actually be the greatest yarn for those horns, for the unicorns. It might not be. And there's definitely way too much for just a single unicorn. But I also thought I could always make a bag from it that could be pretty fancy, right? Like a golden bag or something like that, golden handbag. And I already have some blue of these, the same brand. So I thought, okay, I'll get it. It's there. Boom. I grabbed the last 4 skeins left. That's what happened. And now it's in my home. And yeah, I kind of wanted not to buy yarn. And then I saw this and I couldn't help myself. But I have it. And I like it. Do you like it? Also, it's chain spot. You can see there, it's a chain net yarn. It's not a spun, it's chained. See if I can get it to focus. Yeah, you should be able to see that here. Definitely. And it's slightly ever so thicker than fingering weight, but I wouldn't call it a 3 weight either. So it's a thick fingering maybe. It feels nice. It's not like, while it might sound like that, that would be the polyester going through together, but it's not itchy. It's, for what it is, it's pretty okay. Looking forward to working with that yarn. If you have any suggestions, or if you have any bag designs you think could work with this yarn with the amount I have, in case that it's not going to work up for those horns, hit me up, suggest me here down below in the comments. If you have anything else, feel free to comment. I'll be happy to answer. And as well, all my patterns, of course, are down in the comments down below. We're about to round off here, and I'm going to thank you ever so much for supporting me on this endeavor. And yeah, if you haven't done yet, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. I hope you enjoyed it, and then I'm gonna say I'm going to see you again next week. On Monday we have Papatilla yarns in Sort My Stash, so it's all my Papatilla yarns we're going to go through. Wednesday, if everything goes right, I should be on for a morning live. I will schedule it so that you are aware. I will probably first schedule it Monday, I think. Monday or Tuesday. I will try to schedule it in reasonably due time. And Then Friday, of course, I'll be back with a new yarn talk video, giving you an update on how the last week went. This weekend is going to be a little bit busy, of course, because we are celebrating my partner's birthday. So, until I see you again, take care and happy crafting. Bye.